scout team, second team, whatever, at the position behind Wayne and Denzel that are really standing out to you in practice, kind of making it tough on Skylar in practice?
Will Jones at nickel is a name that you're going to see a ton in the future. In fact, you may see him even a little bit this week in some packages. He's been ready to go in a couple of games where we've seen multiple receiver sets, which Texas Tech obviously will have. Also, Tyrone Lewis is a guy in the future that people will know. Not quite ready yet, but hopefully throughout this spring, and he's made tremendous strides this fall. He'll be a guy in there as well. Wayne's still a young guy. Jerron McPherson's still got time. John Alexander's still got time. There's a lot of growing that we need to do yet in that group.
When you face a 3rd and 22 like you did on that play, is there any temptation to go more of a prevent style and just have guys like back at the marker so there's less chance that they do get behind you?
Well, we talked about potentially even pressuring in that situation, and it kind of, the situation kept us out of pressure, which is something that we like to do on 3rd down and long. And I don't want to say we go prevent necessarily. And even in prevent, if get to scrambling around and guys get behind you, you still got to trigger your scramble rules, and we just didn't execute those very well.
What is the scramble rule? Like
it depends on the coverage, but essentially, if you're a deep half safety, your deep is the deepest, and we just weren't.
This may stun you, but Kellis and I didn't play defensive back in football. So, like, when you're in a zone defense, how do you communicate passing guys off and understanding, whether it's verbally or through hand signals, whatever? How does that whole process work?
It depends on the coverage that you're in.
Yeah.
I mean, there's times when everything we're doing is based on the quarterback's eyes, and then there's other times where we're definitely passing off routes, I think some of it comes with pre-snap identification. If you can identify splits and situations, then you might have an understanding of what you're going to see, and it's easy to pass things off.
Yeah.
And then other times, you bet, it comes down to just having great vision on game day and not getting tunnel vision on certain things, being able to expand your vision and the communication that goes on as we pass things along.
You guys have been really stingy against the pass and haven't allowed many passing touchdowns all season until this game. Did that come as a surprise that they were able to do that?
Again, it's just kind of a series of events that we didn't put them in a great position down there in the red zone probably, and we didn't win a matchup, and then there was a scramble, just kind of some fluky things that I wouldn't say anything's necessarily broken. We just got to be a little bit more stout in those situations.
When you say caught your eye on the Texas Tech front so far?
Well, tremendously talented group of receivers. The tempo of their offense is giving everybody problems. Quarterback's talented in a lot of different ways. He can run the ball. He throws the ball really well, I think. Underrated thrower. I think they're talented at tailback. I mean, they're a challenge. They're a handful. And as they get more and more comfortable with what they're doing offensively in years to come, they're going to be a loadful for this league.
I'll ask another kind of low-level question, but if you're playing an offense that goes that fast, do you have pressure to communicate more to your team, like to talk about 3 snaps in advance, that kind of stuff? Like, if they do this, or do you just sit and base kind of the whole time against those kind of things?
And that's how they get you, is they try to get you vanilla as they can be, and we're working a lot of things where we don't have to be.
Right.
And they do a successful job of that. I mean, fortunately, we've had some experience dealing with some tempo teams, and we've been able to still do what we do to a large extent. Now, how exotic can you get? That's difficult at times, and maybe some scenarios where you can do that. But down in and down out, you're not going to be able to communicate a whole bunch of things. You're just going to have guys that really understand what you're doing and be able to lock in and be on the same page.
Thanks, Joe.
Appreciate it.